Hey guys, how's it going? John here from Unbeatable Tech. Today I've got an awesome episode where I was able to sit down with a good friend of mine, Sherif Abuzid, who runs a marketing agency focused on translation services, and he has an amazing story and a ton of takeaways that you get from this quick conversation. In this conversation, you're going to learn that transition plan from being an employee to a freelancer to a marketing agency scaling up to 10 employees, as well as the systems and processes that had to come in to make that process scalable to where you can actually step away from your agency for days at a time and have everything run like clockwork. You'll also see that ability to transition your marketing strategy, your customer acquisition strategy, learning the signals and learning how to implement digital marketing in your agency to find better clients faster. And lastly, you'll see a really unique way that Sharif was able to niche down and find a blue ocean amidst a ton of competition. And I think there's a really cool takeaway for any agency owner that's just getting started. All right, guys, this was a super fun conversation. I really enjoyed talking to my good friend, and I'm going to roll the clip right now. Be sure to stay till the end to get all the takeaways, and I'll hope you enjoy the episode. Let's go ahead and roll it. Hey, everybody. John here from Unbeatable Tech. And today I have one of my good friends, Sherif Abuzid, here on the show. He's going to talk to us about translation services and digital marketing in a growing and changing climate. So Sharif is the marketing manager of a translation agency that translates e-commerce and SaaS business websites and apps into different languages. He has an MBA in International Business Administration, which enabled him to understand the different international work environments of global companies. Sharif has been integrating digital marketing strategies into his company during the last 5 years, which also means during the pandemic. And today he's going to be sharing all the lessons he's learned with us. Sharif, it's so good to see you again, my friend. It's been a year or so since we've chatted last, so welcome to the show.
Hey, thanks. Hi, John. Thanks so much for the invite. Yes, I'm really glad that we are back to do some friendly chat with your audience. So thanks so much again for having me in the show.
Awesome. So before we dive into digital marketing and tech and agency work and all of that, I love to learn a little bit about the personal life of the person behind the business. And so give us maybe just a little glimpse into your personal life. How, where are you coming from? And maybe share a fun fact that my audience probably doesn't know about you.
Okay, so I am a husband of four kids. Like I have two sons and two daughters. I live in the countryside of Egypt, like 1 hour away from the pyramids. But I don't visit them frequently, as you imagine. When I can have friends, we just sit down beside them and have some coffee, etc. I have a translation agency, as you mentioned. I started as a freelance translator, where I had to do translate daily. Then I wanted to have my own thing. I started to freelancing. Then I found that I'm missing some skills to run the business, like marketing, sales. I started to study these. Then I'm setting up my agency. I felt again I'm lacking some skills. So I had to do my MBA in international business environment. And recently I started to learn more about digital marketing.
That is awesome. That's a great journey. And it's a journey that I think most people go on of slow, small steps. And it seems like you implemented what I like to call that just-in-time learning. You take a step and you realize what you don't know, and you have to go out and find those skills and move forward. So talk to me first about the freelance side. Were you still working your other job, your main translation job, while you're getting into freelancing? What was that path to go out on your own?
Yes, actually, it was like a very hard path because I actually started as a freelance translator. Then again, I felt like I'm lacking some skills of how to translate. No one was proofreading my translations or editing it, so I had to join an agency, and I worked as an in-house translator for 3 years. But again, during these 3 years, I started to do freelancing as a side hustle. It was like different, but back then it was like 2005. There was no such thing like Upwork or Fiverr or these freelancing platforms. So I had to, after I came back home, I had to do my cold emails to agencies that I know. So I had to work for a very long time during the day and the night to support the family. And I was not married at this time. But after being married, I thought that I can't spend more time with my wife and even my brothers. So I had to take a decision either to move on in the corporate life ladder, because this required a certain set of skills, or start my own thing as a freelance translator. Then I decided to start my own thing. Like 6 months after my marriage, and which was crazy. It was a really hard decision, but I had to take it.
That's awesome. And, bless your wife for that support. What was that? Go back to that moment if you can. What was it like when you decided that you were going to go and take the leap, as it were, and go out on your own to chart your own path? Because I worked in my corporate job for years, about a decade as an engineer, and we had already started the online business as a side hustle. My wife was doing it while we were raising our kids. And I still remember, even though we had income coming in from the side hustle, it was still a scary moment for me when I left the corporate job and the security blanket of that paycheck. So what was it like for you? Tell me that story if you don't mind.
It was like, okay, I tried to be some sort of, I tried to have a plan of some sort. However, these crazy things, these crazy moments will always come to you when you are starting your own thing. What my plan was that I had to make some savings just so I can support my life for 6 months. I had these savings, but it's still the moment that I still remember this moment when I told my manager that, okay, his name is Tariq. He was a really professional manager. I told him, okay, I need to start my own thing. Even 1 hour before this, when I was going walking to inside to the company, I still remember the moment like I was shaking or something. Now I had to take the responsibility of my life. Can I do it? You have to question yourself. I spent the first 6 months like thinking again, questioning my decision. Was it right or wrong? Even I had to hide this decision from some of my relatives, like my father-in-law. I told him, okay, I would start to work for the company, but at home, I couldn't tell them that I will start my own thing because I was not sure if I can do it. But actually, my wife supported me a lot because we had been engaged and 2 years before the marriage. She said, okay, you can do both of the jobs at the same time. But after seeing me like working for 3 or 4 months, working as an in-house employee in the morning and side hustling at the evening, she said, okay, we can't stand it. This is not a long-term healthy plan for you and for the family. But I kept questioning myself, and up till now, you have seized these moments of questioning your decision. But I think it's normal thing to question the decision. But back then, it was like a very horrible moment for me.
Yeah, no, I totally understand. And I think that it's difficult for leaders to be sitting at that juncture. There's a fork in the road, and which way you go is going to be a dramatically different life. And I'm proud of you for sitting there and thinking about that decision and making a hard decision, because I think a lot of people, especially when families come into the picture, it's so easy to drift because there's comfort in just drifting on the path that you're on. So I think that's fantastic. So
John, so interruption. We both know Shane Malaf from Thrive Teams. Shane said in one of his courses or articles, said that entrepreneurship is a journey of problem solving.
Mhm.
I think this saying what keeps me moving. Okay, this is the life of entrepreneurs or leaders. Like we have to solve problems. And back then, what my problem was having like enough flow of clients, but now I'm having new problems. I have to solve them.
Awesome, Sharif. So let's transition now from the personal into the business side. So you've gone from having a job to freelancing to a marketing agency. Tell me a little bit about translationpartner.com, which is your agency, I believe. How did this begin? Did you come into an existing business or did you found this? And tell me a little bit about that initial experience coming into the agency world.
Okay, so this actually started as was working alone. I had to do the translation work. Then some clients started to ask me if I can do some sort of a design business, of a designing job. It's called like desktop publishing. This is part of the translation industry world. I couldn't do it. Told my brother he was employed, but he didn't like his job. Can you take some courses? So he took some courses and we joined forces so I can do translation work and he does the desktop publishing work. Like 2 years later, I started to see that the accounting or the administration part is taking more time of myself. Then I asked my other brother who is working as an accountant, can you join us? He said, no problem. I can join you. I can just for the part time. After working for a couple of years, I saw that I'm missing a lot of opportunities. Like I was working actually mainly in Arabic translation jobs, accepting translation jobs for Arabic, which is my native language. I had some multilingual projects coming. Then I said, okay, let's set up an agency and we can scale this out and see if we can do it. Translation Partner now is an agency of 10 people. We do like Arabic translation, Farsi, all actually. We last year we worked in 33 languages, different languages. We offer technical translation, medical translation, business translation, although we are mainly specialized in e-commerce and SaaS businesses. So again, it started like one person joining the forces with my brother, two brothers. Then we had to make an agency. This also, I can feel more comfortable now working in an agency environment because all this journey from starting as an in-house translator, a freelancer, a company of two, I can see that if I had to practice the different parts of the business, like doing the translation, the sales, the marketing, the project management or operation, and the administration. So I have a background about most of the things that we need to do, but I'm not a professional in each one of them. So I had to ask people who are more professional than me to come and do the job, or at least choose people who have the right attitude and mindset, and they can offer them the training. And this is what we have now.
That's
An agency.
fantastic. That's beautiful. And it started with a family operation. So that is wonderful, very exciting. And I can totally relate with the idea of wearing all the hats and then learning when it gets to be too much, finding the activities, the zone of genius that like, I need to be doing this, which means I need to take this hat off. So when did that moment come when you started to realize I can't do this on my own and I need to start building the team? Because I think so many people, and I still struggle with this myself, where there's an activity that you could do, you probably shouldn't do, but there's also a struggle in the outsourcing or in the hiring out of a skill. So how did you, was this just a natural skill of yours, or was the skill of outsourcing and delegating, was that something you had to develop over time?
No, it develops over time. And let me tell you another saying. I'm not sure who said it, but it was on a podcast. He said that the most expensive mistakes you can do in your business are the HR mistakes, because you hire people who doesn't have the right skills to do the job. You think they have the skills, but you find out they are not a good fit for the job. But one of the turning points, I hired people. Usually they are in-house to do the operation and project and the marketing for us at the beginning. But it's still the main issue, and I think, John, you are referring to this. The main issue of the technicians is that they know how to do things. Like a technician, like me, for me, I'm a translator or a graphic designer. They are technicians who are moving into the agency world or setting up an agency because as a technician, as a translator, I know how the task should be done.
Mhm.
And I want it to be like my way. This should be done my own way, which doesn't have to be. Like in the book, like the E-Myth Revisited, I think this is one of the classical books. The writer said that we need to hire people and give them the processes they can follow. So I started to hire people, but I was micromanaging them without knowing it. Until a moment I was sitting with one of my friends and we were talking like this was not a coaching or a mentoring session, but he asked me a question. What is your title in the company? What exactly are you doing? I said, oh, so, okay, I just support the project. When someone in the project management or the operation needs something, I will give them a hand. In the marketing, I will give them a hand. I said, so you are a technical support guy? I said, no. I said, but you don't have a title now. I said, yes. And I'm supporting the team. But he said, you are a technical support. You don't have a title. You need to know exactly your strength point and your strengths, and you need to tap into these. And this was like an enlightenment, an aha moment or something. I'm not sure what you call it. But I said, okay. I said with my brother, who is my business partner now, I said, we need to find a title for me. What tasks or jobs I need to do that no one else in the company can do. I started to know I need to find a title, or he said I need to find something or a job title for me that I like to do, and something I like to do and no one else can do. I can do translation, project management, sales, operation, technical support. What is the one skill that I feel passionate about and I can do it all the day without being tired? I said marketing. This is my passion now. I like to do marketing. I like to write articles, to contact people, to do some sort of this sort of content. So I started to do this. So I'm focusing only in marketing as a job title, plus adding, doing the vision for the company and saying, okay, we are going to this track, not this track. We need to do this. So I'm a marketing and a research and development guy inside the company.
Oh, that's powerful because until you let go of some things, you can't fully achieve your potential in the thing that you really should be doing. And we're in a similar boat where we've hired on more and more team members, but in hiring on team members, we have to let go. We have to let go of the things that we're hiring our team members to do, and we have to let them grow and find their own and create their own path with our guidance, of course. But when you start to have this umbrella of I'm the guy at the top and we've created all this, you have to learn how to let them trust but verify, make sure that your team members are upholding their end, but then allow yourself to dive deep into what you're passionate and what you're skillful in. I think that's a fantastic growth. So
Yes, and this is a very hard moment. Sorry, Sir John. And this is a hard moment for us, like leaders and people who are doing the things from the top. It's really hard for us to let it go because we need it to be like us. No, things doesn't have to go like you. And okay, I used to do like some graphic design using Canva and the other tools we use. I'm quite sure we both use the same tools. But when I had someone, she's a girl, her name is Ola, to do the graphic design, I was, okay, she can do it better than me. Okay, she can do it better than me. She know how to use the right colors, etc. Okay, you can do it. I just tell her I need a thumbnail. You can do it better than me, and I would do the rest. Okay, you are the boss here.
fantastic. I know my wife and I, we have very different strengths and sometimes, but we can all do it all. But she is excellent in certain things. I'm excellent in other things. And when we find that groove and we work together, that's when great things can come. So let's talk through that marketing process. Members of our audience, they are in the process of starting an agency or they have the idea where they want to develop their own skills. And starting an agency or doing freelance work is a great place to begin because a few clients can fill up your time, can fill up your monthly income requirements, and can provide for your family much faster than affiliate marketing and other slower ways of building an online business can do. Walk us through a little bit of your funnel, if you don't mind, of how are you finding clients? Who are you targeting? How do you attract them? And what is that process up until the point of getting a new client into your book?
Okay, before digital marketing, before testing or going into digital marketing, we used what's called like the traditional marketing or sales way. We had to like doing the cold emails, cold calling with the clients we want to work with. But this way was not scalable. I think that we have a limited time, a limited hours per day. We need to work on this. The return response rate, or I'd say the conversion rate, was okay according to these strategies. But I thought that why can't we test the digital marketing way and see if we can have some sort of clients and this channel and see if we can have some potentials in this. So I started to listen to some courses or learn a few things about SEO, search engine optimization, because this is how I think about the funnels, or how do I funnel my own clients. I start with this is the standard things, and many people don't do it in the beginning, and I was guilty of this. You don't sit down, you don't write down the exact characteristics of, or like a draft of the the merits of your clients.
Yeah, defining your avatar, right? Yeah.
Finding your client avatar and who are they, where, and how do they buy. This is how I should. Okay, this is my client. What is their buyer journey? How
Mhm.
do they find translation service providers like us? Okay, they go to this website and they go to Google and they attend exhibitions or some sort of fairs or something like this before COVID-19, of course. I said,
Right.
okay, let's see. These are the places where clients come to us. Let's check if we can test all the channels. So I started with search engine optimization because when I'm doing my keyword research, I found that people are looking for translation services that we offer. I said, okay, why don't we tweak the website we have a little bit and see if we can or if we can receive some sort of results. We started to receive 2 or 3 months without doing a lot of job because we had an old website. It was built by us. So I made some tweaks like interlinking, creating new, like fixing the URL of the pages. And I started to receive a few requests from the client. I said, okay, we have some sort of a good channel here. This, we can add this, we can funnel people through our website. So I went back again. At this time, we are doing the same traditional marketing, and we still do it at this time again. But I started to tap into the channel by doing more heavy keyword research, finding people. Okay, we need now to improve the conversion. How can we follow up with them through email? So basically the funnel was like this. We set up a landing page of the translation service we need to offer. People come to the landing page. I had to make sure this page is conversion ready, having a contact form, a clear call to action. And once they fill in the contact form, I take them into some sort of steps. I send them an auto reply that we have received your quotation request. We'll get back to you again. This is the funnel that I used to have with my clients. And now we are tapping into the digital advertising like Facebook ads, what is it, Facebook ads, using your course, of course. I mean, like adding the pixel, which audience should we set up, and we are starting to use Google Ads, maybe in the coming few months.
That's wonderful. And that does exemplify the concept of problem solving from step to step, starting out with the traditional cold emailing. I dabbled in cold email for about a week, and I realized this was not the channel for me. This was not the way I wanted to get clients. I also know that it can be effective. And it's essentially that brute force method of going out where your people might be. You might find a list. You might be able to scrape some contacts and try to get in front of them. But it never really felt right for me. And it's similar to you, Sharif, of exploring, learning, and then measuring, and then going on and growing further. That's pretty fantastic. So you get people through contact. They're requesting services. Now, just I am in America, and translation services is not something that I have investigated in myself. So what are some of the clients that you are going after? How do you help define that avatar, and who should be considering translation services if they might not be considering it right now?
So people who are asking for translation services, let me tell you first that the translation services is now an industry. It's like the estimates are, it's an industry with more than like 50 billion US dollars per year. There are many companies that are requesting translation services. For us, mainly we work with what we call the 3 E's: e-learning, e-commerce, entertainment, like game development companies like Netflix, all the entertainment services. And for e-commerce, those international brands, like international companies that want to attract international customers who speak different languages. And for the e-commerce companies that want to develop training courses for their HR policies, or train salespeople for their processes. However, there are companies like who want to reach international customers. They sell products like smartphones, heavy machines, etc. These are all the different types of companies that, or businesses that may look for service providers like us. We do translation, and we do even the mix of how I'm doing digital marketing helped me to stand out from the crowd. Okay, this is something. This is my strategy always, like finding the blue ocean where people are not fighting with each other. Search engine optimization is, we know it. Okay, we finding the keywords, etc., etc. But when people translate their website, sometimes they forget about it. Okay, we are setting up, let's say, like an e-commerce website. Okay, we want to translate an e-commerce website. They send us the content, we translate it, and they add it to their website. But they found that they are missing the organic traffic coming from Google and other search engines. They come back to us, or maybe we can discuss it in the beginning. How can we get an organic traffic? We tell them we need to implement what's called SEO translation phase. During this phase, we just do some local keyword research for them. For example, the word, like there are some like a shaving machine. We have 2 translations for them. If we translate it, if you are going for the Egyptian market, we need to use a certain translation. If you are going for the market in Saudi Arabia, we have to use another translation to attract more organic traffic. So this is the mix that I like about mixing translation services with digital marketing. That's why I'm more passionate about mixing both of them and helping our clients succeed.
Oh, that makes a ton of sense to me, because the cultural norms, all kinds of differences between languages what might rank in the English language, if you were to do a direct translation, I can imagine that might miss some connotation, or it might miss some cultural implication where people would not search for it there. So this is a very interesting way, a way for you to stand out, not simply translating, but translating with a focus of actually driving business results through SEO or other digital marketing. That's pretty exciting stuff. So Sharif, a lot of our audience is either starting their agency or starting to plan for it. Tell me a little bit of a day in the life. How do you manage between client fulfillment, client attraction, and running with a remote team? Walk us through a little bit of what you've learned as you're growing and developing your agency to where it is now with, as you said, 10 team members, which is a good sized agency. Walk us through that day in the life.
Okay, let's say, okay, first we need to, if you are starting your agency, the first rule you need to have, this is how I see it. The first thing you need to have in your mind is that people or your team is the most valuable asset. It can be, it is the most valuable asset you can have in your agency. I think Jack Welch, who is a well-known management consultant, he said the people you have in your company are your most competitive advantage. So having the right people can help your life to be much easier. So my daily life is now I start like not I start by doing the more creative work. I start by if I want to do some sort of writing an article or writing a process for my team or generating some ideas for the website pages or thinking about how we can improve this part of the business. I usually start with this sort of tasks, like the creative and the visionary tasks, before people coming to the team and ask me if they have some questions, how can we do this? What's your opinion? So I start with the more creative and visionary tasks. Then I think I work for 12 a.m. Then I start to check my email. Do I have something urgent to do? And I get back to take my lunch and get back to my less creative work, maybe like learning. I still like to learn new things. And I think we both share the same passion for this, which sometimes can be like a shiny object syndrome for both of us. But I'm trying to stop myself from learning like new WordPress tools, page builders, all this stuff. So this is basically the daily life of my agency. But what makes it, as I said like a few seconds or minutes ago, what makes it easier, it's a very difficult life. All business is running a business. If you are is a freelancer, if you are an in-house employee, running a business or working in businesses is a really hard job. But sometimes it can be less difficult if you have the right team. And let me tell you something that makes me get more trust for myself. Okay, we are running it the right way. Yes, we have some bottlenecks, problems, but we're running it the right way. I had at this situation like a few months or weeks ago, and I couldn't touch or log into my account, and I had to spend 3 or 4 days away from the company. But the team managed to run the company smoothly. They could receive clients' inquiries. The sales team gave it to the operation, would start it and send it to our vendors, etc. And the team was running it smoothly without a slight intervention from myself or my business partner. I said, okay, we need just to know how did this happen? We revised the process. How this, okay, this is a good moment for any agency owner. Now I can go away and let the people run the company. I can go up, think about more things that can improve the business. I found that the reason behind this was choosing the right people, adding or putting in place the right processes, or what we call standard operating procedures. Yes, they may not be the best tools or the best processes we might have in the company, but still we have a process. So if this happens, you can do this happen, you can do this, you can team members can talk to each other through these channels and they can cooperate to make the project work. And this is why I'm starting to build the new processes or adding more processes to the team. And to, like, for example, now I like to write content and write articles, etc., and creating content. But still, I can do different types of content. We need to create. We can create like articles or written content, and we can do videos. Having someone who can create a video content is more difficult than having someone who can write creating content. So I said, okay, let me write down a document with how I'm generating ideas. Okay. How can I set up a layout for the articles? And this will be good. And there is another part. I used to publish the content in the website. Okay. I don't need to publish it again. I need to find someone who can publish it for me. And I have a marketing assistant. She works an in-house employee or team member of us. I said, okay, this is how we do it. I created some small videos for her. How you can add the title and you can add the keyword H1s, H2s, and table of content. This is how delegating or letting go things. So if we can go back for your question, the daily life of business of an agency owner can be much easier if you have the right people and set up the right processes for your team members.
It sounds to me like you deserve a pat on the back, because I think you might have broken out from that status that most agency owners fall trap into, which is they can't relinquish themselves from being in the business in order to work on the business. And it takes me back to Robert Kiyosaki, is a very famous author, and he has the 4 quadrants. I don't know if it's income quadrants or whatever the case might be, but essentially you go from being an employee to being self-employed to being a business owner to being an investor. And I think that the biggest leap is going from being self-employed to being a business owner, where you can actually watch the business operate and see, not to say cogs in the wheel or anything, but to actually see the processes interlink and work and identify defects where things fall out. And now you can fix that process once, and then it's able to roll over and over. And I think that it's a powerful thing you're able to get to that position. And a lot of folks, when you're getting started, and Sharif mentioned earlier the shiny object syndrome, where you see new things and you might want to go down the bunny trail. That is totally fine to investigate, so long as it doesn't create the inability for you to have a process. Because oftentimes you'll see something new. Oh, let's try this giveaway. I see this is working. Oh, now Pinterest ads is big. Let's go try Pinterest ads. And every time you add one new thing into an agency, into an operation, all of a sudden you've created so many variables. There's so many undocumented things. What happens if this goes wrong, if that goes wrong? And so I think by having a process where it, not to say it's overly simplistic, but something you actually could write down into SOPs that is followable, I do think that is a key success measure of being able to actually reclaim your time and hire out to allow your business to grow and scale. So I think great job on that, Sharif.
Thanks so much. Even before we start the recording, we're talking about decreasing the frictions. That's why this is the same happens in, you can't create a process if you have many frictions. And for example, and I know that many of your audience are people who know page builders and this some sort of like the funnels, etc. So for example, the page builders, I like to work with Thrive themes and sometimes Breezy, and I'm starting to embrace Gutenberg now. My team was crazy. I told them, okay, you need to learn how to use Thrive themes. Then we need to work with Gutenberg. But I said, okay, no, just stop this distraction. We're going to use one tool to do this job. So now I'm training everyone. Okay, how we can publish an article. I said, you can use Gutenberg or the WordPress editor to do this. Decreasing the frictions can make a huge improvement for your processes. I still remember, I'm still asking myself now this question. If I'm buying a new tool or buying a new course or anything, is this a distraction?
Yeah.
Does this at Mike Killen from SellYourService.com, he said this. Okay, you need tools to move to the top of a mountain. If the tool can help you move to be like one step ahead of your competition, that's fine. But I need to ask yourself, is this a distraction for the process I have? How much time do I need till I learn this tool, or do I actually need it? I have an alternative. Even for the payment process, we have Thrive Card, we have card flows, do I need these tools, or can I just use one tool? So decreasing your frictions can be very helpful for improving your processes as well.
Absolutely. It took us years on our main business to make a shift from one theme to the next. And because we knew in the back of our mind, making this one decision, not pursuing it as a shiny object, but one change can have rapid consequences down multiple levels of the business. And so when researching, this is a note to the audience, a lot of our content, a lot of Unbeatable Tech's content is on helping you choose the right tools for the job. And all of my videos, as I'm creating them, I let you know, I make sure at least 2 or 3 times in the video, it's whatever tool it is, go with it and move forward and focus on the big picture. Focus on serving your audience, focusing on creating those SOPs and on growing your business. Use them as a tool. Obviously, you need to do the research to find which one is right. But once you have it, realize they are just tools and to grow your business. And I think that is a fantastic place to ask you, Sharif, what is that one piece of advice you would give to anyone who's either in the fledgling stage, they're just growing, they're planning out their agency, maybe they're still in the corporate world, but they want to start building up something on the side as you followed your path. What is that one piece of advice you would give to somebody who's beginning the journey of entrepreneurship and to grow their own business?
If I'm going to give one advice, it will be that like focus on one thing, like lower your distractions, focus on one thing until you either achieve results or give it time until this is not going to work for me. Before leaving your corporate life, before moving it in different, doing different things. I think you said this in one of your courses, one funnel, 1 year. I'm still reading your ebook, one funnel, 1 year. I don't remember the
Yeah,
rest of.
yeah, I call it the 5 1s, and it is that way of simplifying your business to the minimum viable confusion. It's you take one offer, one product or service you want to offer. You decide on one traffic source, whether it's video, whether it's audio, whether it's blog posts, whether it's live streaming. You choose one traffic source. Pick one funnel. If you want to do a cheat sheet, a checklist, a webinar, pick one that you can measure and manage. Find one customer avatar. Only try to serve one person. Niche down as much as you can and simplify, not trying to be all things to all people. And finally, commit to that for 1 year. And the 1 year is the hardest part for anybody, but ultimately, that is where, whenever we find coaching clients or students of our courses, the most success people get is when they put those blinders on, they make their selection of their 5 1s, and they move forward and they give it all they've got. So I'm glad that resonates with you a little bit as well, Sharif.
Yeah, this is advice. One thing, 1 year for some time. Like the main problem was when we learn something new. I said before, we're talking execution is everything. Like you start to learn something, you said, okay, it doesn't work. It will work if you just commit with it for the
Yes.
for the right time till you figure out how you do it. For example, I'm studying or testing using Facebook ads for my business. I'm using your course as a beginning, like how to step the pixel, how to find the right strategy, and applying it to my business. I said, okay, I'm in the mindset of embracing the learning curve of the tool. I will make mistakes, but I have to embrace them till I figure out how will this channel work or it doesn't work, but I still need to give it time. So my own advice is start with one thing, give it time till you figure out till you figure it out or you found that it doesn't work, but please give it enough time to know if it can work or not.
I obviously I agree with you there. I think that's a wonderful piece of advice. And Sharif, this has been an awesome conversation. Congratulations on your success. And first of all, like congratulations on taking on that mantle of being a problem solver and growing and having a systematic approach as you approached it. And you'd see a problem, you'd hire it out. You'd see your team growing, you'd create systems and processes. You'd find yourself getting distracted, you would tackle those distractions and put in those countermeasures to keep you focused. I think that is a really awesome show of leadership. And if anybody out there is looking for translations, I think that translationpartner.com is a fantastic place to go. I might be looking up some of your services as well, because we have about 100,000 students in our main academy, and people have been asking for translations in different languages. So we might have something to do post podcast talk.
It was very amazing podcast. I really enjoyed talking with you. I think we both share the same mindset and the way of talking. So thanks so much again for having me in the show.
Awesome. Until next time, guys, have a great day. And thank you, Sharif. Talk to you soon.
Thanks, John. Bye.
Bye. All right. So that episode was awesome. The conversation with Sharif, he dropped so much value, and I hope you stayed tuned and took notes for every step of the way. So if you are looking at getting your own agency up and running, I highly recommend you reach out to them to learn more about it. There will be links in the show notes and in the blog post accompanying this down below. But also, if you're looking at that ability to work out the entire process like Sharif did, have that blueprint of how you can launch your own agency, digital product business, whatever the case might be, you definitely need a funnel in that process. Go ahead and go to unbeatabletech.com/blueprint and get your 100% free funnel blueprint right now. I'll see you in the next episode. Let me know in the comments down below what your biggest takeaway was, and I'll see you next time. Take care.